Hi, people of the world watching internet videos that have to do with cars. Welcome to this. My 1974 RA21 Toyota Celica ST, powered by a Toyota Tundra 2UZ VVTi V8. If you're new and you'd like to get caught up on this project, up above my head is either a link to the last video or also could be an instructional guide to train your ferret to become a better flotation device. This right here is a package from Japan. And inside it is a front anti-sway bar for an AE86 Toyota Corolla. For those of you that are unaware, the AE chassis Corollas were a rear drive coupe and liftback that followed up the success of the RATA chassis Celicas from the 70s and have somewhat similar suspension geometry and design, allowing parts to almost be interchangeable between the two. I have no idea if this is actually going to fit. Honestly, what will suck more than wasting a couple $100s on something that doesn't fit is because if this doesn't fit, there is no solution to a front anti-sway bar on this car. Oh, I don't know. I have a really sad feeling this is gonna be a case of almost fit. I didn't just pull this idea out of left field. I don't play sports, but I do know that that anti-sway bar will fit on an RA chassis, TA chassis Celica with the AE86 suspension and subframe that I have, but with a Beams engine, which is also front sump. So first found in the JDM Celica ST202, the one with the 4-circle headlights, the Beams engine was essentially a high-revving, naturally aspirated variable valve timing intelligent version of the 3S GTE engine found in my Toyota MR2. It then later turned into the blacktop variant, which became the power plant for the Altezza RS200, which we got here in North America as the Lexus IS300, with a non-turbo version of the Toyota Supra's 2JZ engine. Did I literally install this in a way that I cannot remove it? Because I do dumb things. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I just rotate that down. Again, I do dumb things. Come on. Let's not drop this on my camera lens. Why is this so tricky to install? Please, 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 please. Nope. Like, it is millimeters off. And it's in an area that'd be really hard to modify the sump. What do they say? There's only so many ways you can shave your cat? That might be the wrong thing to say. I feel like this is that situation. I don't want to scratch this thing all up already. In order to have the correct suspension geometry, you have to have this spacer in here, which brings down the subframe to that of the 86. However, that would mean I would also need to do the same for the mount location for the anti-sway bar. I think I have a plan. It's going to be a combination approach, just like the caster adjustment. And that is going to require modifying the oil pan in addition to slightly modifying the tension rod brackets. But before I hack up this oil pan, an intelligent individual would order another genuine Toyota Lexus 1UZ pan, just in case. I'm fairly certain I at least have all the parts I need to finish this up. So, if you recall a few videos ago, I had all of the accoutrements for the front of the car re-zinc plated, and I cleaned up the lenses as well as all the hardware. This is extremely satisfying. Additionally, the balances that go on the front of the car I had re-powder coated so it'll be more resistant to rock chips in the original satin silver metallic finish, which I sampled from the original panels so it'd be an exact match. Does that go like that? Conveniently labeled bag. Now it'll fit. Wait, what? Oh no. Oh, I didn't paint that. Oh no. I gotta paint that still. Or do I? It should match. I might not have to. I left the headlight trim in the trunk and completely forgot to do these when I repainted the grille. Talk about precise engineering. The screw is exactly like 0.5 millimeter larger, so it fits flush with the panel. That is brilliant. Man, cars really were made better back then. Like, technology-wise, obviously it was lacking, but quality-wise, I feel they were better quality. Shit. This is super intricate how this all goes together. Fresh gold zinc nut plate. Somewhere a robot is getting off to this. That is satisfying. Oh man, that is satisfying. Black powder coat, silver powder coat, fresh gold zinc. What hole is this supposed to go through? Up here? A lot of people prefer the amber JDM corner lamps, and I think they look really good too, but I just wanted to keep as much original parts on this car as possible. You can see what I'm doing through the marker hole. Dangerous-ing, dangerous-ing. All right, this is gonna be tricky. In order for me to mount the oil cooler and start designing the bracket for that, I need to know why I have hairs all over this. Hardware going through with a rubber washer, nut plate in the fender. That's how I'm gonna do it. You know what that means though? Is my USDM bumper lights down here are not gonna fit. So that looks like that had a nut plate. I knew I would need this. You'd think I would have did this part back when I painted and bodyworked the car, but I like to live dangerously. Granted, it's super dirty. You can at least see how close this is to the original paint. Dude, it literally matches. I got an idea. I hate to sacrifice a perfectly good original body part, but this is essentially just the front skin without this structural piece right here. On these first generation Toyota Celicas, the front valance is not only a critical component that is the mounting location for the front turn signals, but it also comes into play for directing airflow for the AC condenser and the radiator. That TRD air dam further enhances that cooling effect by acting like a cow catcher to catch cow-shaped airs. And while yes, I could have fabricated some brackets from scratch, you can't argue that nothing is going to fit as good as OEM parts do. There. So I did my best at drilling out the original spot welds and unassembling this part the way it was built from the factory, as to not make waste of any of these old parts that are unobtainium and still render this front skin useful for possibly saving another one of these old Celicas. Come on. Ta-da! It's the following day, and this is the fruits of my labor. Nothing is gonna beat an OEM bracket. Thankfully, these are corrosion free. There's just a bunch of rubber undercoating stuck to it. You didn't actually think I was gonna stick these back on the car looking like that, did you? Mm-mm. Using a little bit of my very own, citrus degreaser. Make sure there's no schmoo on these. Ideally, 36 grit is the optimum sandpaper to create mechanical tooth for epoxy to bond to. A stipper bit is about -4 grit. Sometimes when you don't have the materials you need, you make anything the materials you need. Just wipe this down with a little bit of phosphoric acid. I used a little bit of wax and grease remover to neutralize the phosphoric acid. Now that metal has a little bit of a zinc coating on it. I use Nature's Paint Booth. Let that dry. I'm not gonna just sit around and wait for paint to dry. I'm gonna accomplish some work. That looks so good. I did more than put one bracket on, but there's a lot of crap left to do that just not even worth filming. Nice and dry. This will make the whole situation a lot sturdier. Test fit. Test fit. It's so nice when fiberglass parts actually fit, but this is what it takes for body kits. They're not just slap it on and go. Like, there's actual engineering and fabrication that goes involved. You need to trim that off down there. I used red oxide primer because that's how it was from the factory, even though you're not gonna see it. And all my stuff's gonna fall off the bench. Rounding off these corners gives me a little bit more adjustability to make sure I have nice close fitment of this front air dam. Nothing more nerve-wracking than drilling holes in fiberglass. So I'm running the drill bit in reverse. That way it doesn't splinter the fiberglass. Because you could quite literally stick a dull butter knife into a drill chuck and it would probably cut through fiberglass, it really doesn't take much. So by using this technique, it prevents the sharp edge of the drill bit from catching the fiberglass fibers and ripping it to shreds, shattering the piece. This bracket will go. It was at this point in time I started to second guess my initial design plan to attach these side brackets to the fiberglass chin spoiler. Okay, now this will have to get sandwiched. While these TRD chin spoilers are still in production and can be reproduced, the little side brackets I made, not so much. Initially, my thought process was use a 2-part epoxy and permanently bond the fiberglass lip to those metal side pieces, kind of like the factory front chin spoiler. But factory chin spoilers are made of metal, and this is fiberglass, and fiberglass stuff gets damaged from time to time and might need to be replaced. As much as I love red oxide primer, that's not gonna match. The following day, as much as I would love to just go ahead and reassemble the nose of the car, there's a purpose to why I'm doing this. And just like that, brackets are done. So the fenders from the factory require butyl between the two metal surfaces to block out corrosion. And you can see there used to be some right here on this part of the front bumper. So I think instead of doing epoxy, I'm gonna do the same thing, butyl on all surfaces, and it'll be more OE-like. I love how the chin spoiler just pulls in the fender flares, and the rear spoiler, once that's mounted, it'll tie it all together. There it is. It's just a little guy. It's such a cute little box. Inside here lies the oil cooler, and since these Tundras had an oil cooler from the factory down here on the side of the block, I wanted to make sure it still had the cooling capabilities, but a little bit different. Sorry about the mess. My shop's tiny and I don't have any free days to clean. Did I screw myself by putting the headlights on? I really hope I didn't. Alright. Oh, that's sick. I can stick my arm inside here. That's amazing. Too bad I couldn't do that when I was putting the bumper on. I'm currently compiling a list of the final brackets that will be needed to complete the engine bay and the nose of the car. Oh, I got plenty of room. It'd be sweet if I can tuck this close up to the radiator, because then my chin spoiler's deflecting air directly at this. I think right up there, I don't want to block the bottom. Yeah, because I don't want it right there, then it's just doing nothing. I don't know, I have no idea where I'm gonna be able to attach brackets to. I guess maybe the headlight frame up here. So I can run a strap from the front lip mount up to here, and then I can run a strap over to below the headlight. That's the only way I'll be able to do this, and the hoses can just come down and around and go in. Well, I think this is doable without having to re-engineer anything drastically. Somewhere there is a motor. I cleaned up the wiper motor a couple of videos ago, but clean is not clean. The engine bay looks too good for me to just slap this thing in there as is. I'm in the final 10% of this. I can't slack off now and just say good enough. It flakes off. It's goldish. Brake cleaner is designed to destroy paint, so yeah, that works. All right. The wiper motor is literally the first thing you see when you open the hood, because the hoods on these cars open in reverse direction from modern cars, other than like the Dodge Viper. I guess that's not a modern car anymore. There's overspray all over this. So I want this thing to look good, because it's the first thing you're gonna see. Back to nature's paint booth. Side note, if you allow chassis and roll bar paint to dry on your skin, you might as well use sandpaper to remove it. What's down inside here? Ew! There's all kinds of shit crusticles. Ah, and a leaf. And in case you were wondering, that's just the front bumper inner support structure that's black. The chrome piece goes over the top of it. Will this fit? Oh, it will. Good. Even though this is an interior cleaner, this is an interior. And a brush, just get all the dirt out of there, because that's what builds up and causes corrosion when it gets wet and moist. Stuff that down inside there. Yeah, I know this car made it 50 years without getting any rust down inside there, but yep, night and day. Way better. So I was just watching my old video where I moved the wiper motor, and you can see originally there was a giant chunk of foam between it and the firewall, which that's hideous. Also, there were some rubber grommets. I'm getting down to such little hardware that's hard to find stuff. Whilst I'm at it, genuine Toyota part made in Japan. Do you know how hard it is to track down a robot's butthole that is approximately 40 millimeter outside diameter and 3/4 of an inch inside diameter? Yes, that's SIE and metric at the same time. An hour of searching on the internet in 3 different stores. Also, while I was at it, I went to the paint store and I got some extra paint mixed up exactly to match the grill and the trim pieces I already painted with some satin 2K clear. And thankfully, they're just tiny little triangles that don't even touch anything else, so it'll all match. Maybe put it in a socket? Cue the dirty robot music. This smells like a burnout. If only you could smell what I smell right now. That's a Leonard Skinner song, isn't it? There you go. Oh, that's gonna work perfect. Old grease is a lot like earwax. Put some fresh new grease in there. It's like a lavender purple color. That's a lot better than just wiping it down and throwing it on. Everything that I have left to do to this car requires problem solving, ordering parts, and engineering. If I had all the parts and they all fit together, I could slap this car together in about a day. There's not a lot left physically to do. Air vise. That's probably the least intelligent way I could have done that, but it worked. Not stab myself. Ouch! How'd I do that? I stabbed myself and I said not to. Oh, it was in the glove. Clean out the inside of this fuel line. Until the parts for the steering rack situation and the anti-sway bar oil pan situation get here, the last two big hurdles of this project, I can't do anything else. I'm waiting on those parts now. So this is a good point if any to stop, and I'll wait until I have those parts before I can move on. It makes the most sense in my mind to do this for you guys, so that way I can really knock out a lot of progress in the next video. And likely the exhaust fabrication will occur in the next video I film on this car. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.